Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring the incredible and, honestly, sometimes heartbreaking story of a truly remarkable animal. We're talking about a breed that literally journeyed from the blood-soaked trenches of World War I right into our modern family living rooms. So let's jump right into the legacy of the Airedale Terrier.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture it. It's 1918, on the Western Front. The Sherwood Foresters, a British line infantry regiment, have been completely cut off by a sudden overnight German advance. Artillery shells are raining down, the telegraph lines are absolutely shredded, and nearly 500 men are trapped behind enemy lines with zero way to call for reinforcements. Their only hope? A messenger dog named Jack. You have to ask yourself, what kind of dog is brave enough to make a run like that?
Well, in March 1918, Jack's forward handler slipped a crucial message into a canister on his collar and told him to go back. Jack had to navigate a mile and a half of absolute nightmare. He's dodging shell holes, crawling beneath flesh-tearing barbed wire. Mid-journey, a jagged piece of shrapnel actually shatters his jaw, but he gets back up. A bullet grazes his spine, leaving this massive gash. He stumbles, but he just keeps running. Finally, a shell explodes nearby, completely splintering his paw. Despite taking catastrophic fire, Jack's incredible stoicism and his sheer devotion to his handler somehow kept him moving forward. He literally dragged his broken body the rest of the way to company headquarters.
So the crucial takeaway here is he made it. Jack reached his master. As historical accounts solemnly note, he arrived with the glaze of death in his eyes. Right after that life-saving message was retrieved from his collar, a message that successfully summoned reinforcements and saved the lives of all those 500 men, Jack dropped dead in his handler's arms. It's a heavy story, I know, but it perfectly illustrates why this breed is so universally revered. It just shows their ultimate loyalty.
Section 2. King of the Terriers. The resume of a versatile working dog.
So how exactly do you go from a dog capable of unparalleled battlefield heroism to a breed that presidents want by their side? Well, for starters, you have to consider their sheer size. While the standard Airedale weighs in at a highly respectable 40 to 70 pounds, there was actually this legendary strain developed in Ohio by a Captain Walter Lingo back in the 1920s and 30s. They were called the Orang Airedale. These absolute powerhouses could weigh up to 100 pounds, sometimes even more. But honestly, even the standard sizes easily cement their undisputed title as the largest of the terrier breeds.
And this brilliantly illustrates how that size supported a wildly versatile resume. Born in the mid-19th century in Yorkshire's rough-and-tumble Aire Valley, working-class folks crossed the feisty Old English Black and Tan Terrier with the larger, scent-driven Otterhound so they could hunt the river valleys. And the result? A dog that could do practically anything. Beyond being trench messengers, they served as Red Cross mercy dogs, actually finding wounded soldiers out in no man's land. They patrolled the Hull docks in 1908 as early police dogs, mostly because they could quietly alert handlers to intruders without making a peep. And over in North America, they were even used to bay mountain lions and bears. Absolutely wild, right?
Moving on to Section 3. A unique temperament. Not your average terrier.
Now, while it's clear they've got the physical chops and the bravery, their personality is where things get really fascinating. Because to truly understand the Airedale, we need to look at what they are not. Let's compare them directly to the ancient Welsh Terrier. Now, they share a similar physical silhouette, sure, but they have a very different mind. See, the Welsh is an independent, tough hunter with a bit of a Napoleon complex, and they can be pretty dog-aggressive. But the Airedale? Thanks in large part to that Otterhound ancestry, the Airedale is much more biddable, or in dog training terms, softer. While a Welsh Terrier might look at a little kid as a littermate they need to dominate, the Airedale often steps into the role of a sweet, kind of clownish nursemaid to children. They're just much more tactful, family-oriented companions.
I actually really love this quote from a terrier breeder. They said, "Yelling a reprimand at an Airedale makes him beg forgiveness. A Welsh wouldn't even notice." It's such a surprising behavioral fact for a terrier, but it highlights exactly why Airedales require gentle, positive training. Harsh discipline, that will just break their spirit. They really want to work with you, not despite you.
Section 4. Health and Longevity. Inside the 2001 ATCA National Health Survey.
Now, if you're actually thinking about bringing one of these majestic dogs into your life, you need the facts. Now, what's really interesting about this survey data from Purdue University is the age distribution peak. Airedales have a really impressive average lifespan of 10 to 12 years. For a dog of their substantial size and robust build, living well past a decade is a fantastic indicator of the breed's overall hardy genetics.
But, of course, no breed is immortal. The primary causes of mortality,
based on that veterinary-confirmed data, show cancer leading at 39.5%, followed by old age at 14%, urologic issues at 9%, and cardiac conditions at 7%. But having these exact health metrics empowers you. As a prospective owner, you know exactly what preventative screenings you need to discuss with your vet as your Airedale ages.
Right before we leave health, let's quickly touch on their physical stature. Males typically stand 23 to 24 inches at the shoulder. They have a large, deep-chested frame. And why does this matter? Well, because a dog this robust requires plenty of space and moderate daily exercise. That's crucial to stave off not just boredom, but dangerous physical conditions like bloat, which large, deep-chested dogs are definitely prone to.
Section 5. Grooming and care. Maintaining the wire coat.
So these dogs have this glorious weather-resistant broken coat that makes them look incredibly smart, right? But it doesn't happen naturally. Airedales don't just shed like a Labrador would. To prepare for the show ring, they actually require a highly specific technique called hand stripping. This involves using a small, serrated-edged knife to manually pull out the loose, dead hair. I know, it sounds super intense, but it's completely painless for the dog. And it's absolutely crucial for maintaining that harsh, wiry texture and their deep, rich black and tan color. For an everyday pet, you're looking at doing this or a full-body clipping every 6 to 8 weeks.
Let's move on and see how this builds into a practical home grooming routine. If you decide to clip instead of strip, you'll start by thoroughly bathing and drying the dog. Then, you clip the body, usually the saddle area, with a number 7 or 7F blade, always going with the lay of the coat. Finally, and this is where the real artistry comes in, you carefully scissor blend the legs so they look perfectly cylindrical, making sure to trim away any fluffy chaps or poofs. It's all about maintaining that distinct athletic terrier silhouette we all recognize. So, let's summarize the daily reality of living with an Airedale. These are highly intelligent, deeply energetic dogs. They require 1 to 2 hours of exercise every single day. They absolutely need mental stimulation. They want a job to do, whether that's agility training, scent work, or literally just fetching the morning paper. They really thrive in active homes, preferably with older children just given their sheer size. And remember their deep chests. To help prevent bloat, it's always best to serve them smaller, frequent meals rather than just one giant bowl.
Well, that brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with this punchy, kind of humorous quote from a man who famously loved the breed, President Theodore Roosevelt. He said, "An Airedale can do anything any other dog can do and then lick the other dog if he has to. They are brave messengers, clownish playmates, and fiercely loyal protectors." So my final question to you is, knowing the grooming, the exercise, and that rich, heroic history, do you have the dedication it takes to welcome the King of Terriers into your home?